Lisa from musicreadingsavant.com, and I wanted to help you today with learning how to read and remember the notes of the bass clef. So we have notes that are on the lines of the bass clef, and we have notes that are in the spaces of the bass clef. One important thing to remember is that when we read the bass clef, we start at the bottom and go up. So we would say this is line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and line 5. Space 1, space 2, space 3, and space 4. Now you can see these letters G, B, D, F, A, but it's not so easy to remember that. So this bottom note on the first line of the bass clef staff is G. One way to help you remember this is to use a tool, and one of my favorites is having words that represent each of these letters. So my favorite is grizzly bears don't fly airplanes. Some people also like to use good boys do fine always. Whatever it is that you like to use, that's going to help you remember the notes of on the lines and the bass clef. So grizzly bears don't fly airplanes. Did you notice how I started at the very bottom line and I went up the staff? That's important to remember. For the spaces, again, we start at the bottom and we have A, C, E, G. I like to use all cows eat grass. That's a favorite for a lot of people, but again, you can choose what's going to work best for you. At the very bottom, you're going to see some ledger lines. And there's not really a great way to remember the ledger lines in the bass clef. So I like to think of 2 ledger lines below bass is C. And then I work my way up through the music alphabet. So after this line note C, the next space is D, the next line note is E, the next space note is F. The same way when we are working above the bass clef, we start at the very top with this note. It's considered a space note sitting on top of the bass clef. This is B. Let's go forward in the alphabet because we're still going up the bass clef staff. The next line note is C, the next space note is D, and the next line note is E. So even with these ledger lines, they are still called space notes and line notes. They are just a way of extending the staff either higher or lower for the notes that we can no longer fit on the staff because they are just that much higher in pitch or that much lower in pitch. So I hope these tools help you to learn the notes of the bass clef a little bit easier and that you can problem solve them when you find them in your music.